Hey besties, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lindsay. If you guys are not new here, then you know that I haven't been filming for months after the hurricane happened. It was just a lot going on, so I'm so happy to be sitting my little hiney back in this chair talking about my passion with you all. So I love you so much. I'm so excited to be consistent again. I have still been collecting, so if you guys want me to make a video on the channel, maybe like a roundup of all the fragrances that I have bought or been sent during this time, please don't hesitate to let me know in the comments down below. I think that would be a good idea. A lot has happened in this time, so maybe we'll do a catch-up video as well. But for those of you that are new here, you're probably like, okay, get to the point. So today we are talking about the best perfume releases of 2024. I hope you guys had a great 2024 and I hope you have an even better 2025. So I was gonna try to stick to 10, but I think we're gonna go over. No problems there. There were so many fragrances, keep in mind, that I did try, so maybe we'll do about 15. Now, most of these were fragrances released in 2024, but this one was released in 2023, but it was discovered by me in 2024, and I've been so head over heels in love with this fragrance. It's quickly becoming a signature scent for me. This is Althaïr from Parfums de Marly, and guys, this is one that I wish I would have bought in 2023 because I know I was missing out. This is sweet, warm, comforting, very inviting. It's edible without being obnoxious, without being suffocating. I really enjoy the blend. I think it's phenomenal. You have your spice in there, your gourmands, that musky, woody citrus in there, which I do think can lean slightly masculine. It just gives it this slight edge where it makes it more wearable. I really enjoy it. I always say I get that vanilla, cinnamon, cookie vibe from this, but then mixed in with that sexy man's musk, and I think it just works so beautifully. This is an amazing fragrance. I'm so happy to have it. I will say I do have a boyfriend now, by the way, and when he wears it, he smells incredible, but he does find it a little bit too sweet for his liking. So if you are a man and you don't love sweet fragrances, maybe this one wouldn't be for you. I love it. I think it smells good on anyone, and if you haven't smelled it yet, please in 2025 try to get your nose on this one. It's so nice. Again, you have your praline, vanilla, cinnamon, there's cardamom in here, orange blossom, those woods, citrus, musk. It's a gorgeous fragrance. And another fragrance that did come out in 2023, but I had to mention it, is Amore Caffe from Mancera. If you like those syrupy, sweet, thick, coffee vanilla scents, I think you'll really like this. The coffee in here, it's definitely deeper, which I like because it's not too suffocating, even though I'm saying it is really sweet. I feel like on the dry down it gets more deep, which I really enjoy. And yeah, the notes in here are delicious and I get a lot of them. Lots of that brown sugar. It's inspired by affogato, so that espresso with the ice cream. It's not super milky, creamy, anything like that, but I think it really does smooth out the fragrance. I love the amaretto in here. It's a little boozy, almondy, vanilla-y. Really enjoy this fragrance overall. I think it's a 10 out of 10. One of my favorite coffee scents, and one of you told me to layer this with Phlur's Vanilla Skin, and I think that smells really good as well. And then it's interesting because my favorite fragrance release of 2024 is kind of opposite to what it was in 2023. So in 23, my favorite was Kayali Silk Santal, very feminine, light, ethereal fragrance. But for 2024, this one is more dark, deep, sensual. Can you guys guess what it was? We have Narcotic Delight from Initio. This fragrance just reminds me of the color red. It oozes sexy, confident, bold in a way that's not overpowering. It's not super loud as a fragrance, but it doesn't need to be. If you are out on a date, it's low lighting, you're very close up and personal with your partner, and they're just picking up on those subtle gentle whiffs of your fragrance, like they're just gonna be putty in your hands. This fragrance is so sexy, so captivating, and I've heard some people say that it's really basic for a Initio fragrance. I love it personally. I find with a lot of the niche fragrances, sometimes you'll try a fragrance, something in there will irritate you, you'll have to wear it, you might get used to that and it might grow on you, or you might just realize the fragrance is not for you and you don't love it as much as everybody else. For me personally, with this fragrance, it was love at first sniff. Like, I didn't have to get used to anything, I didn't have to ease into it. This was just such a love right away, and I mean, it is just so beautiful. I really enjoy wearing this one. It definitely gives me those red moody vibes, and for a date night, this one is a staple in my collection. This one, it's that dry vanilla tobacco cherry fragrance. You have that spice in there. I really get the pink pepper, a really addictive Herrera note. The whole composition, in my opinion, is so beautifully done. So yeah, this one for me, number one. I would write home about this. Some people would not. That's absolutely okay. I was sent this, thank gosh, because this is a pretty penny, but once it's gone, I will be repurchasing with my own money, hopefully on a sale, because this is a lot of money, but I can't be without it, and I love blending it with other fragrances in my collection, typically more like edible vanilla scents. And also, you guys know I'm a sucker for a boozy note, and that cognac drives me crazy. Then we have Cirque du Soleil L'Eau de Parfum. I hope I didn't butcher that. The bottle is absolute perfection, so magical, and so is the fragrance inside. This really captures the aromas of fair air. You have your cotton candy in here, the caramel apple, you have that buttered popcorn. I don't necessarily smell this and think popcorn, but I do get that buttery sweet vanilla, which I really love, and the more that this dries down, it gets more powdery, more warm. It's a really gorgeous fragrance. On the dry down, it's much more wearable than I was anticipating for a fragrance with these notes. I'm not gonna say that it's not super sweet, because it is really sweet, but I feel like on the dry down it does get more wearable for what it is, and I do appreciate that. So it's a really lovely fragrance. On the dry down, I kind of feel like I do lose that apple a bit, but I still do get that really beautiful buttery vanilla, the cotton candy, some of the citrus, and some of that iris, again making it more powdery with that warm amber. Really pretty scent, very happy with it in my collection. Then we have Creme Brulee by Theodoros Kalotinis. This is a very rich, mouth-watering vanilla coconut dessert of a fragrance. It's really mouth-watering, very cakey, super edible. I mean, if you love like the idea of like a toasted vanilla coconut dessert, this is so amazing. It's buttery, it's really smooth, it makes my mouth water. This is one that was so good to me in 2024, and I'm gonna use it so much more in 2025. So it's buttery, sweet, and rich in the way that Madagascar vanilla is from Nest. Not saying they smell the same, but they do layer beautifully together. So unbelievably delicious. If you are someone that loves gourmands that smell like you want to eat them, take a bite, this is definitely a fragrance that I would recommend, and it's for sure one that I was so into again in 2024. And I'm hoping to try so much more from Theodoros Kalotinis in 25, because he has a lot of offerings. Another fragrance that blew me away in 2024 was Devotion Intense from Dolce & Gabbana. I was ecstatic, guys, when I saw this release, because I enjoy the original Devotion so much. It's that citrusy, vanilla, sugar dessert fragrance. I think it's categorized as a bright gourmand, and I totally agree. It's very punchy, very bright, very zesty in the opening. Little sharp for some people's liking, I know, and then it dries down to be much more creamy with that vanilla, with the panna cotta. There's some rum in there, which gives it that warmth. I really love it so much. Beautiful orange blossom, of course. This one claims to have the hazelnut, orange blossom, and the vanilla. In my opinion, this one is not as punchy right away, so if you don't like the opening but you love the dry down of the original, I think they did a really good job at kind of keeping it in the family, where this one didn't lose the magic of the original too much for me. I think that you smell them and you know they're sisters. This one is just more syrupy, more sweet, more creamy to me, and I love the addition of the hazelnut. I think it gives you that extra oomph. It adds this really sweet layer that I'm obsessed with, and sometimes I even get that kind of Fruit Loop sweetness that some people get with those orange blossom, vanilla, citrus fragrances. I really love this one. I'm so into it. And if you like the original but you're looking for something maybe more rich, more syrupy sweet for the fall and winter, I think this one is absolutely phenomenal. Really love it. And you still get that lemon, it's just I don't think it's quite as zesty and as sharp as in the original Devotion. Then Good Girl Blush Elixir from Carolina Herrera is a flanker of a flanker, so Good Girl Blush must have performed pretty well for there to be a flanker of a flanker. Good Girl Blush, if you've not smelled it, is one of my favorite scents in my entire collection. I think it's such a light, feminine, pretty girl fragrance. It's a sweet floral vanilla scent. I really enjoy the vanilla in the scent. I think that it's really beautiful, quite creamy, and with that bergamot and the peony, it just makes a very magical scent bubble in my opinion. You have the ylang ylang in there as well, and then I believe there's even a bit of bitter almond. In this fragrance, you have very similar notes, except for instead of the peony, you're getting the rose, and then they did amp it up with the patchouli, which I think gives it this deeper, like, I don't want to say darker because it still feels light to me and similar to the original, but just more sensual, more romantic. So I find that the original is really good for every day. Great signature scent, perfect for a day date whenever you want to feel really light, very pretty. And then if you want to amp it up, step it up a notch, and you want to feel more sexy, I feel like this one is really good. And the vanilla in here is maybe even a bit creamier. I do think also this one does smell stronger, which I do appreciate. So it's a really good release, and it doesn't smell as youthful as the original in my opinion, and one of the most complimented from this video. And from the 7 Virtues, we have Amber Vanilla and Candied Lychee. Amber Vanilla is a really beautiful, soft, feminine, comforting vanilla scent. It does have that duality of being very warm, familiar, and comforting, and then also very fresh, feminine, and pretty. I really enjoy the florals with the musk in here. There's a slight pink pepper spice, as well as that very warm amber and the vanilla. This is a gorgeous scent, and it's a Your Skin But Better, so it's incredibly wearable for every day. I love putting it on to run errands. You just want to smell put together, and this is absolutely the type of fragrance that I wear for that. I get a lot of the ISO E Super, and in general, this is just a really pretty fragrance to have in my collection. And one, funny enough, I mean, I did get it first, but even recently, I've been wearing this more than this fragrance, even though typically this would be a fragrance I would gravitate towards more on an everyday basis. This is Candied Lychee, and this is a beautiful fragrance. It's a flirty, girly, pink smelling scent. This I really enjoy because not only are you getting that lychee, but also the citrus, which is quite juicy in the opening. So very bright opening, very juicy, very fruity, very fun, and the jelly bean adds a playful touch to it with a really beautiful peony. You get that floral and the vanilla. This is good. It kind of reminds me of Burberry Her, if I'm honest, which I really enjoy. The only thing that sometimes I'm not obsessed with in this fragrance, I feel like it is the jelly bean. When I smell it like right up close to my skin, that's when sometimes the jelly bean kind of throws me off a little bit, but what I get in the actual air, which is what matters, I love. So this one is a very pretty fragrance, very happy to have it, and I think it was a really solid release. And Phlur did so good in 2024. They dropped so many beautiful body mists, perfumes. The the two that really stuck out to me are Strawberry Letter and Vanilla Skin. Strawberry Letter is this really gorgeously done, jammy, sugary strawberry fragrance. I love the incorporation of the plum with the strawberry because I think it gives it this depth, as well as those earthy notes in the base. You have that amber, so it does dry down more warm, more ambery, but you still get the strawberry the whole way through. I really enjoy this scent. I think it's super pretty, and you really do get that jammy sweet strawberry, which I do miss in a lot of strawberry fragrances. Typically you get fragrances that are very powdery, sweet, and pink smelling, where it could have strawberry, but with this one, without a doubt, you are getting strawberry in this fragrance. It's very easy to tell, so I really enjoy this one. It dries down, like I said, more ambery, more warm, more musky. So this one is a very beautiful release, and I think because it does smell more deep, you could wear it every day or even for a nice date night. Then Vanilla Skin, you guys know I love the body spray. I feel like this one is similar, but maybe not as sugary, like as sweet. This one you do get that burnt sugar, it's woody, musky. Really love that cashmere note, and I think I get it more in this fragrance than the body mist as well. And it's just a really beautiful, rich vanilla scent. It doesn't smell like cookies. It smells more mature, more grown, really elevated, and I think it's gorgeous. I think this one even has oud in it, which I think kind of comes off maybe a little smoky to my nose sometimes, and I really enjoy that because I think it makes it smell more expensive, but it doesn't stink. It just smells very expensive. And we have quite a few from Kayali. My throat is a little sore, please bear with me. But the first one is Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar 42, and this was very intriguing to a lot of us, I know, because you had that bubblegum note, the rock sugar. This fragrance, based on the marketing, looked like it was straight out of the candy shop. I know a lot of us were super eager to get our noses on this scent, and some people were really let down by the patchouli in the scent kind of changing the fragrance on the dry down. For me personally, it does get more warm and woody, and it does have more depth on the dry down, but it still remains very girly and very feminine the whole way through, in my opinion. So it opens up, you do get that rock sugar, you get that bubblegum note. I get a really yummy, creamy vanilla with that pear, and it's absolutely delicious. It's not like a juicy pear like in some fragrances. It's very thick, very sweet, very dessert-like, which I absolutely love. There's a little bit of jelly bean, and like I said about candied lychee, sometimes that note for me can be off-putting because it kind of comes off plasticky, which I do get a little bit of that in this fragrance. The more that it dries down, the more powdery it gets, the more musky, warm, woody, but it's not overly woody in my opinion. I actually don't get as much of the patchouli in this fragrance as other people. I think it's just a really nice, feminine, grown, sexy fragrance on the dry down that does have that pink background. You still get the bubblegum even on the dry down. It's just not as pronounced, and it still remains very sugary, again, very powdery. Very pretty of a fragrance, so I'm happy with it. I do think, just like Good Girl Blush Elixir, it does grow some teeth, which I love with that patchouli, but it is not off-putting to me. It doesn't remind me of nail polish like some of you guys were saying, and while I do really adore the opening, as I've said before in my review video, and I do kind of wish I had something like the opening in my collection, I still think that the dry down smells more expensive, which I do appreciate in my collection, because let's be honest, I could find something probably very similar to the opening of this fragrance from Bath & Body Works if I really wanted to, which I do really want to. I need to get on it. So if you have recommendations for that, please let me know in the comments down below. I have since tried a few bubblegum fragrances, but I've not really found what I was looking for. So this one, all in all, was a pretty good release in my opinion. And I can agree that it does have that musky floral dry down of something like Vanilla 28, but I still think that one smells a lot different with that brown sugar, and it does smell really similar to La Belle, but I would say just a pinker version. Then we have Kayali Yum Boujee Marshmallow 81. This one smells so fluffy, sweet, and girly. This one truly smells like a strawberry milkshake with pink marshmallows. That's it. It doesn't smell bougie or expensive in my opinion, but it does smell absolutely delicious. I am planning on making a review video at some point, so I don't want to say too much, but this one is really pretty. I love the addition of the citrus in here. I kind of get that vanilla citrus Hufflepuff combo in this, but then make it pink, which I really love. I've said too much, but this was a beautiful release, and actually one from Kayali where like the marketing is 100% what you get in this fragrance. It's really gorgeous, really tasty. I will say for some people, if you're someone that loves your luxurious bougie fragrances, you want to smell expensive when you're spending that much money, this is probably going to be a letdown because it's not bougie at all in my opinion. It is just, again, really scrumptious, super irresistible, and I just love it. A very quick mention of the Kayali Summer release. I really enjoyed these scents, but they are limited edition, so I'm not counting them for real, but I just wanted to mention that I loved Capri in a Bottle. I thought this one was so bright, so happy, really heavy on the citrus. I love the citrus and the vanilla together, and I really enjoy the fact that they did add in this really beautiful raspberry that kind of makes it smell different than other citrus vanilla scents on the market. Really sugary, very sweet. Then Maldives in a Bottle Ylang Cocoa 20. This one of course had the ylang ylang, the coconut, but it's very aromatic from the rosemary. I found this one very refreshing, and I thought that this one was a very beautiful and more unique smell from the line. And then Maui in a Bottle, this one I believe is that, yeah, Sweet Banana 37. Very delicious, really nice take on banana, and I do agree that even if you're someone that doesn't love banana scents, you might really enjoy this one. It had pear even, and it was just a really beautifully done scent all around. I found this one pretty creamy from what I can remember. Really beautiful launch. Next is Valentino Donna Born in Roma Green Extravaganza, and this one smelled really good and pretty different from the other ones in the line. This one features that Lapsang Souchong note in the opening. I believe that's what it's called, which is supposed to be kind of smoky, I believe. This one doesn't smell super smoky to me, but it is very aromatic. You have that herbal feel coming through in the opening, as well as I get something quite juicy and fruity and green as well right away. Maybe almost like a green apple or something like that with a touch of mint. I don't know. It smells really good though. And then on the dry down, you get that jasmine and vanilla that the Valentino Donna Born in Roma is known for. I really enjoy this one. It's very easy to wear, but it does smell... It doesn't smell cheap, you know, it smells really nice. It's very likable, very pretty fragrance, and I love having it in my collection. And I think the juice is a very good representation of how it smells, especially in that opening. I really like this one. The performance is okay. I wish it was better because these Valentinos are not cheap. However, I really enjoyed the fragrance, so I had to get the big bottle, or the smallest of the big bottles. Black Opium Over Red from YSL is a beautiful cherry vanilla coffee fragrance. I don't necessarily get coffee per se, but same thing as what you get with dark chocolate a lot of the times, where it's sweet, dark, and sexy. That is what I get from the coffee in this scent. It just gives a deep layer, which I really enjoy. I get some of the florals in here, but guys, the vanilla with the coffee on the dry down is absolutely top tier. This one just like the Le Parfum, I feel like it's a very smooth blend on the dry down. So if the original Black Opium is too much for you, I think you'd really enjoy this one, especially if you want one with more of a feminine cherry floral touch. I really love this so much. I've used it constantly. It's one that I actually have to stop myself from using so I can give love to other fragrances. Very pretty in the opening because of the citrus with the cherry. I almost get kind of like this bright cherry cola, but then on the dry down that does change a bit, but very feminine. The cherry fades on the dry down a bit for sure. I do wish that it was a little bit stronger. Like, I get it, but it's not as strong, of course, as in the opening, which if you guys have a fragrance that smells like the opening of this fragrance, please let me know because it is beautiful. I will say there's one from BDK called Rouge Smoking. I feel like people call that one a cherry cola scent and give it really high praise, so I'd love to try that fragrance eventually. But this one, I have to say, is a banger. It's really good, very happy with it. Performance could be better for sure, but the scent is top tier. Then Bond Number 9's New York Flowers is a gorgeous fragrance for every day. This one is simple but special. It's not complex, it's not intricate, but it's so lovely, very beautiful. It has the most beautiful kind of clean floral powdery dry down, but the citrus in it, the pear, the Coeur Royale make it very juicy, fruity, and sparkly, even down to the dry down. When I put it on my clothing, it gets a bit more warm and more clean smelling, whereas when I do keep it on my skin, it smells a bit sweeter, more fruity and juicy. But either way that I wear it, I always love it, and I think this is such an easy reach. Very expensive. My SD card ran out of storage, so I had to switch it. This is a beautiful fruity floral fragrance, very juicy, sparkly. Really enjoy it. Can't remember what I was saying before, but very pricey, I have to say. This was sent to me. I've bought a few Bond Number 9 fragrances on my own, and even on the discounters I'm like, dang, that's a lot of money, but I really love this scent, so I'm so happy to have it in my collection. And I think it really is a good one because, again, it's not one of those clean girl fragrances that smells just like clean laundry. This one has a little extra, which I really like. And even though it does have the rose, it's not like a super mature dated rose. And then Gucci Flora Gorgeous Orchid is a stunning fragrance. This one, if you like creamy vanilla fragrances that are still very fluffy, airy, definitely not too dense, thick, and in your face, not sickeningly sweet, this one is really good because you get that vanilla. I think there's like vanilla cream, there's vanilla orchid, and also that ozonic note, and you really got that in the fragrance. And some people say they get banana in the fragrance. I do detect like this really beautiful, sweet, kind of almost a little fruity touch in the fragrance. I could see a touch of ylang ylang offering a banana floral sweetness to the fragrance, as well as maybe even like something very bright and happy that I get up top, maybe even like bergamot, not making it smell too citrusy, but just really bright, happy. Yeah, because it's so happy in the opening, and I love that. This is a really gorgeous release, and again, like I said, I do appreciate the fact that there is this ozonic kind of fresh airy feel that you get in it. I really enjoy the scent, and I wouldn't say it blew me away in 2024, but it's a really nice, pleasing fragrance to the nose. Really pretty, can't go wrong. And then Ellis Brooklyn Miami Nectar and Missy by Rosie Jane are both fragrances that I reach for when I wanted to just put a fragrance on that made me feel very energetic. The vibes were high, the sun was out, beaming, super hot. And Ellis Brooklyn Miami Nectar is one of those fragrances where it's very bright, it's very happy, super refreshing in the opening. refreshing and juicy with the pineapple, and there's this really beautiful coconut that's sweetened up by the vanilla, which adds in this really nice gourmand touch. I will say that this one not only reminds me of the pina colada, but also just the experience at the beach. Like I said, it's very fun, very energetic. You have the palm leaves in there, which are very fresh, a little green. You have that driftwood, which in my opinion has that woody, kind of salty dry down, which some people might not like, but I really enjoy it. And my favorite thing about this fragrance is the fact that while it is very tropical, very summertime, it doesn't smell like straight up sunscreen. So this was a very beautiful release in 2024. The only thing I have to say is while I do get okay longevity from it, I do think it's very, very light wearing. So it is one that I do like to overspray. And then Missy by Rosie Jane is another summer staple. This one is very warm, solar, fruity, and sweet. I love the combination of the coconut and pineapple in this fragrance as well. I think the pineapple and Miami Nectar is a little bit more juicy and refreshing, which I really like. This one, it's like very creamy, very warm, very solar. This one I love for some reason, maybe because I find it more sunscreeny, definitely stronger too, a little nostalgic, better for pool days, whereas that one I'll reach for every day in the summer or for beach days. But this one I really enjoy as well. I love the florals used. I believe there's frangipani, and I get more of that in this fragrance as well, more of the florals. Maybe that's why it's stronger. And I also get that amber, like it's very warm, sweet, very fun and playful. So yeah, I love both of these. Both of them, you're gonna want to get your body moving, have fun in the sun type of vibes. I just absolutely love both, and I think they were really great releases, especially for the summertime. Coming in at number 20, we have Maison Margiela Replica's Afternoon Delight, which is a lovely milky sandalwood vanilla fragrance. It's very, very smooth, especially on the dry down, and in my opinion it is very sweet, but it's made more wearable from the musk and from that sandalwood. I get a little bit of the Madeleine cookie. I guess it's that powdery, sweet, kind of biscuity touch that I get in there, but I like this one. You know, they could have even added more calories, honestly, made it even more gourmand, and I would have been happy. I will say the opening of this fragrance is not my favorite, especially if you're testing it in store. On paper, you sniff it right away, you'd probably want to walk away because it can be off-putting, but I feel like on that dry down, it gets more smooth, more lactonic, and it's just really pretty. So if you guys have tried this, please let me know your thoughts. I really do enjoy it, but I know it was super polarizing across the board. And I need to include this one, so let's do 21. This is Jimmy Choo, I Want Choo Le Parfum, and something about the Le Parfums, they just hit different. This one is a beautiful, juicy, fruity opening. There's a pear, which is really beautiful in the scent, as well as this dark, deep, fruity blackberry note. I love blackberry and scents. I think it's really nice, and that pairs beautifully with the praline note. So you're getting these fruity, sweet notes, but then the more that it dries down, it gets more earthy, more woody, and it smells more expensive. This one, I have to say, it's my favorite Jimmy Choo I Want Choo. The thing about Jimmy Choo I Want Choo, the line, is that while they're nice, they're enjoyable, they're pleasant, they never blow me away, you know, and this one truly has done that. This one smells the most elevated. This one smells like a full fragrance, you know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the original. It's a beautiful fruity floral sweet scent, and I have even gifted that one, bought it as gifts for people, but this one truly takes the cake for me from the line. Again, it is fruity, floral, very sweet, and the more that it dries down, the more expensive that it smells. I wore this one so much for my birthday weekend. Let me show you guys the dent, if you guys can see it. Yeah, Love this one. Really nice release, and I can't wait to see what they do in 2025. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video talking about my favorite releases of 2024. Again, like I said before, I hope you guys had a great 2024, and I would really love to hear about all the fragrance releases that got you excited for that year, and even what you guys are excited for coming out, because I've seen so many new releases. Don't worry, we'll do a video on that soon as well. I'm just so happy to be sitting here talking with you guys again about beauty, about fragrance. I'm a little nervous even in this video, maybe also because I'm kind of sick, so I'm like, ooh, I hope I'm not too rusty, but I love you guys. Thank you for always welcoming me. Thank you for all of you that did check in on me during this time, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye!